Here at the Pentagon, and we want to get reaction from Congressman Mike McCaul, the top-ranking Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, recently traveled to the Poland-Ukraine border where he met with officials, including Secretary Blinken, as well as refugees there. Congressman, thank you. Good to have you with us today.
Thanks, Martha.
So interesting, right? I mean, basically, John Kirby is saying that Kyiv was the key military objective, and they failed there. But then he also sort of came back around and said no one should sort of be foolish enough to think that the offenses on Kyiv are completely over. What do you think?
Well, I think to some extent he's correct. I mean, I think Putin tried to bite off more than he could chew. And I think he's realizing that now. And with respect to Kyiv, the Russians have been in a very defensive posture, not offensive. And that's because they're getting beaten back by the Ukrainians, who they had no idea could fight like this. You know, they were trained by our Green Berets, and they're a very skilled fighting force. And it's, you know, while it looks like it could be a retreat, Martha, and they're going to reposition and reconstitute in the east in Donbass to Mariupol to form the land bridge to Crimea, to then set themselves up for negotiation, you know, with the Ukrainians to claim legitimacy to that area of Ukraine. I still don't think it's time to claim victory or let our foot off the gas here. We still have to get those anti-aircraft, anti-missile technology weapon systems in. To this date, we have yet to get enough in. They only have a few left, and that's what's really pounding them right now.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how Putin spins this at home, right? This loss of Kyiv, if it turns out to be that. Now, I spoke with Viktor Yushchenko, the former president of Ukraine, a short time ago, and we're going to play hopefully a little bit of that today. If not, we'll play the whole thing tomorrow. But he basically said, you know, do not be fooled by what you're seeing here. They are reconstituting, they are rebuilding at this point. And also, you know, Putin has to, you know, spin this with people at home who've lost thousands of their Russian soldiers and potentially their main objective.
Yeah, I think he's embarrassed. He was told this would be over in 4 days. It's now day 35. You know, and I think he has to talk to his own people. Interestingly, Martha, they've let their own soldiers to just rot on the battlefield. They're not even bringing the body bags home,
which is incredible,
because they don't want the mothers to see they've lost 10,000 troops, more than they lost in Afghanistan, more than we lost in 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I think there's a lot of face-saving measures going on right now and positioning themselves for negotiations where he can use his propaganda to claim as somewhat of a victory. But what I fear most moving forward is a very bloody conflict in the Donbass. What we're seeing right now, in addition to just the Russian troops, are these mercenaries called the Wagner Group. These are the worst of the worst. They're the real killers, and they're moving thousands of them into the Donbass. I think that's where you're going to see the action take place, and I think you're going to see the Russians retreating out of Kyiv.
Well, he said that was the original objective, to liberate that area, and then suddenly they were attacking on all sides. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the reaction is to Putin over time. And as you say, they're not bringing home those dead soldiers because of the reaction they're going to get at home. Thank you very much, Congressman McCaul. Always good to have you here, sir.